Media, welcome to the Orlando Pirates Media Open Day and Press Conference. We are joined by the team's head coach, Coach Jose Riveiro, as well as Captain Xoki. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Coach, if you can just give us just maybe a brief on how the preparations are going for the match this weekend against TS Galaxy, and Xoki, if you can also just from a player's perspective, just explain on the mood at camp right now.
Good afternoon. It's been well. It's a short week. The preparations for this game also started last week and early this week before we play Swallows. It's a week with 2 games. With 3 days to recover and to prepare ourselves for the next one, as we used to do with normal protocols, with only 3 days in between, trying to recover the ones who play as good and as quick as possible, and pushing a bit more with the ones who didn't participate much. The mood in the camp, it's obviously is good after the last result, the last performance. Fully motivated and understanding the complexity of the next game one more time, but preparing ourselves as we used to do it.
Afternoon, everyone. The mood has been good since the last results for us. Now it's only about recovery and trying to prepare for the next one. As the coach said, it's 2 games in 1 week, so the focus now shifts solely on TS Galaxy. So we hopefully we take the mood into that game and get more positive results.
We'll now open for questions from the floor. As per now, we've got 2 roving mics. Please identify yourself as well as the media company you represent prior to asking your question. What is that noise? Do you know?
It's outside.
Maza, can you just try and make sure that all the doors are closed properly? Thank you. Any questions from the floor? Oh, looks like we're done. No questions? We're done, Coach.
All right.
It's a very short one. Thank you. Oh. Okay.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Aviva, freelance journalist for Soccer Laduma. Coach, you are playing against a team that has reached the final of the Cali Black Label. What have you identified as their prowess and as well as their weaknesses going into this game that you might use against them?
Well, we do respect every opponent, no matter if they are playing finals or not playing finals. TS Galaxy is a team that is having continuity in what they are doing with the same technical staff and same coach during a long period. And this season there's similitudes with their proposal from the last season, with the introduction of new faces and a couple of new things. It's a team that it's difficult to deal because they used to be energetic, good pace. They are committed with their defensive organization. It's difficult to break them. Good concentration during the 90 minutes. It's going to be a tough opponent, like every opponent used to be against us and used to look against us. So it's not going to be different. We are used to. It's a challenge, a new one. And as every other week, we are focusing in our own stuff and obviously trying to find 1 or 2 key things or key spaces that we can use due to the opponent proposal, but at the same time we are used to play against teams that when they are facing Pirates usually try something different, but I don't think it's gonna be the case this time. But if it is, we are also ready, because like I said, we used to spend more time and more energy thinking about our own stuff, our own things. But in our experience with Galaxy, we never get an easy game, and I don't think that this time is going to be an exception. We are in a moment of the season where the fight for the points is tough, because I guess everyone wants to go to the end of the first part of the season in a good position, in a good place to start again after that. So the points are very important for both teams.
From News 24. Coach, you've spoken at length in terms of how challenging it has been managing the workload with games coming in a short space of time. Obviously, there's a long AFCON break, but when the season returns, things are going to be shorter and games are going to be more compact. How are you looking to ensure that the challenge that the team had in the first half of the season, when games were coming in thick and fast, is able to avoid going into the second half when it's going to be a bit tighter because of that long break? And question a bit similar to Toki. As players, I mean, how are you guys handling the load, knowing that for some of you guys, the season doesn't necessarily end in 2 weeks, but there's also AFCON, and when you come back, it's also like a push to the finish?
Well, I guess the key is to have at least 3 days between games. Used to be, I think, enough. Sometimes it's not possible, or was not possible in the past, and becomes a challenge. But like in every other scenario, in the end, the key is that we can have not. You like to talk about consistency in the results. I rather to talk about consistency in what we do, in be systematic. And one of the keys in those periods is about repeating, or if it's not repeating, being close to repeat your start 11, to refresh when is a need, not because of the fact that you're playing every 2-3 days and you need to rotate, like you like to say, that word of rotation. So when you manage to have consistency in the team that you are putting on the field in that period, usually you get the results that you are looking for. When it's not possible because of the load of the games is too high, or the injuries appears, or the suspensions because you get too many yellow cards, whatever, then becomes a challenge. But if you can have consistency in the system, I think that, like I said several times, they like to compete more than train, right? They like to play. So if they have enough time to rest physiologically and psychologically, and that means have 3 days, it's fine. If you get good results in that period, you used to be fine. The problem is if you lose, maybe if you go through a period where you are going to play 5 games in 20 days and you lose the first one, becomes more difficult. You understand what I mean? Because psychologically becomes the challenge becomes even more difficult. So there's many things. We try with our resources to give the players a proper recovery. Right now we have December with 5 games for us, and after the break I don't think the schedule is going to be that tight, unfortunately for us, because we're not in Champions League anymore, and we have to deal with the rest of the season in 2 competitions, and the squad and the team is prepared for that. It's not going to be a problem.
Okay.
For us, first we will use our medical team and our conditional team. We have a lot of support behind the scenes. I don't think we're gonna have too much load in the December period because the games, there's space in between them. Other than this week, where we have 2 games in 1 week. So the goal is always to have the team as close to full capacity as possible. So everyone available and everyone fit. So the most important thing it's rest and recovery. That's the most important thing from our side in terms of players managing to go through the games. We're not thinking about the break that's coming up. We have a big game on Saturday. The energy that we have, we put it to that game. TS Galaxy, there's no anything beyond that. AFCON is in Jan. No one is promised tomorrow, so we're focusing on that game. So January will come when January comes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Karau from Supersport. Toki, as one of the leaders of Orlando Pirates and I would say senior players and with your experience as well, what's your report card on Orlando Pirates up until this moment, particularly in the league? Because when the league started, obviously, there was a lot of talks, Pirates, Sundowns, but to this extent, what's your report card on Orlando Pirates and how far they're faring in the season?
That would be unfair for me to answer for the group. But we know where we are in terms of progress. We know where we are in terms of our processes. Yes, we've fallen short in some instances, but we know where we are. The most important thing for us is to believe in our process, believe in the things that we do, continue doing the things well that we do. Where we need to improve, we'll improve. So we will not be really thinking now about our season so far. The most important thing is, I said, we have to play TS Galaxy on Saturday, and we have to give our best in that game. So that's the most important thing that we're looking forward to now.
Next question.
Afternoon, Coach. Siasana here from Sunday World. Coach, I don't know if you noticed on Tuesday when you substituted Evidence for Zakes, they had a nice handshake and comical moment on the touchline. So my question is, how important is it to witness that between your talisman? Because also you spoke about having a healthy competition in the team. So how important is it, or how nice is it for you as a coach to see the guys who are supposed to score goals for you having that kind of a moment and then exchange? And for the captain, we saw you on Tuesday. You were substituted because of a knock. How are you feeling?
I'm okay, my guy. I'm 100%, as you can see.
I don't know what they did.
Special handshake.
I think the question is that is it good for you to see that the players are getting along, even those who are competing for the same position?
Imagine that I say no. I rather them to fight every morning here. No, of course the cohesion within the group, it's important. Like I used to say, the beauty of our job is having the opportunity to achieve things together with one group, not as an individuals. Having all of us the same importance, no one is more important than the other. And the only thing that you can do it with truth, it's having that kind of cohesion. And if what you say is how it is, because I didn't see it, so I cannot say. We're talking about 2 players fighting for the minutes in the same position. So it's a good symptom, and it's good to see that the player on the bench is happy when somebody in his place, not his place, because nobody have a place, like own place, but I think you understand what I mean. It's good to see that we all get happy when somebody is doing the things well. It doesn't matter if he's playing in my position or in other position. We try to, I don't want to sound like too naive, but But like I said, the beauty of what we are doing is that we're doing this together. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense what we do here every day. So I'm happy, I'm glad to see the players celebrating or trying to encourage each other or trying to support each other. It's something that I see in the locker room usually during the week. I didn't see what you mentioned before, but probably is a symptom of a good relationship, and that's something good, because what we do is about relationships.
We'll take the final 3 questions. That's all right.
After Coach Kabkhelo Mokhari from YFM, Coach, the breaks in between, do they play a positive or negative impact, especially when it comes to the rhythm of the team? I mean, I'm looking at the game against Chiefs. You played Chiefs, and then there was a FIFA break. Upon the FIFA, after the FIFA break, there was a game against Richards Bay, and then you had to make way for the Carling Cup, and now you're playing Swallows and TS Galaxy. Next week it's another break in terms of the final. So the breaks in between, do they play a positive or a negative impact to the team, especially when it comes to the rhythm?
I think I did answer this question already not a long time ago, so I have to repeat myself. First, there's nothing we can do about it. The schedule is what it is. I think probably this season we have quite a lot of breaks in a short space of time. It's a topic to have a long conversation about what is the best or what is not the best, but we take it like something that we cannot influence so much or complain or cry about it. Like I said before, players likes to, once you go to the competition, to play every 3-4 days, especially if you are getting the results, you want to go to the next one when you are in a good space. If you ask me about, I don't know, beat Chiefs and wait 15 days to play the next game, probably you'd rather to play 4 or 5 days later. But the rhythm is what it is. We don't spend time thinking about such a thing. We just now having 3 days to prepare the game against Galaxy is more than enough, and that's where our mind is right now. And then once we finish the game against Galaxy, hopefully we get the result, and then we can have more time to celebrate and to prepare ourselves for the next one. I've never seen a long week like something negative when we have the possibility to prepare the game as soon as possible, and we have the capacity to manage the load and the periods of resting for our players. And the schedule is what it is. We as a coaches, we have zero influence in when we play and where we play and what time and when is the next one. So I just take the schedule and I try to make it as good as possible for my players.
Question is for Tapelo. How much has the responsibility of being captain affected you and weighed on you in terms of your performances here at Pirates, and then also being now working in the national team squad, has it lifted your confidence levels, obviously for the rest of the season?
First of all, I'm privileged enough to be amongst a group of players that are great leaders. Ino has led the club very well. We still follow his lead. Just privileged to be one of the guys who are there to assist whenever he's not available. We have Ofori in the team, CB also. So there's a lot of guys who are leaders. So I don't really pinch myself. As I said before, I don't look at it now as me in the situation of leading the club. No, it's not about me, it's about the team, the responsibilities that are installed on me to help the team. So as much as I can, I try to help the team, making sure that everyone understands their role, help each other whenever we can. In terms of the national team, I'm also privileged to be called amongst so many players in South Africa. So to be in that space, it's always a dream come true for every player that plays football. But now it's all energy and focus on TS Galaxy. So that phase will come when it comes. So we're putting our energy on that game now, trying to make sure that we get the points that we need.
Hi, good day, Coach. Daniel from City Press. Coach, with 12 points to play before the festive break, and then we look at the gap between you and the log leaders, 11 points. How much of a pressure is it to close down the gap? And in your view, like, are we gonna see this thing playing out again the same way we've seen many seasons ago?
What do you mean many seasons?
The race for the championship. Like, it's one team that is dominating now. Sundowns 10 out of 10, 30 points, and you are sitting 11 points adrift.
But what is the question?
Yeah, my question is, how much of a pressure is it to close this gap here? If you'll be able to make a difference this time, not for the race to pan out the same way we've seen in the previous seasons.
Which seasons?
60 plus 60.
Yeah, the previous season, Sundowns have been dominating, like they've been the runaway leaders, yeah.
Okay.
Normally this is what they do it, and then it's not easy to catch up.
Yeah, it's difficult, but we're not thinking about, because can be someone else who is leading the log. I mean, we want to obviously be at the top in every competition. It's our aim, it's our objective, is why we are working to, no matter who is there leading or who is dominating. You force me to repeat myself every press conference, guys. At least I do feel the pressure when I don't know what I'm doing in whatever I do in my life. If I know what I'm doing, I don't feel any pressure, and that's what we try as a team, not me as a coach. I'm talking about the group. We know what we are doing, we know what we are trying to do, what we are trying to achieve, so there's no pressure. It's pressure about, sometimes we feel the pressure in the games for different circumstances, but not in our daily day. I don't wake up in the morning and I think, oh Jesus, what a pressure, because no, it's not like that. That's a different story. We're trying to be our best version every day. We manage to do it in some periods in our time here together. Now there was a moment this season that we lost points, is a fact if we talk about results, but the level of our performances was at most of the times, with, I will say, 2 exceptions this season, 2 games this season where we were not in the level that we want to be. Then the results are never in control. That's something that you can see in our games, and you can also see in some other games that the results are not in control, you know. But there's nothing we can do about it. And if you talk about the team who is leading the log, 30 points in 10 games, that's something exceptional, and it's something that is not only our responsibility to stop, because we're going to face them 2 times per season in the league, and the league is 30 games, right? So if you finish the season competing against an opponent that wins every game, there's nothing you can do more than congratulate them and try again next time. That sooner than later is going to change. Did I say something funny?
No, you answered me fully.
Okay.
I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Next question.
Thank you, Sister Andy, for affording me a second chance.
It was our secret tonight.
Coach, you just come from a game and registered a victory in a game that is dubbed as the original Soweto Derby. I feel so privileged to have played for both teams. Gogi, Going into Kaizer Chiefs derby compared to Moroka Swallows derby, how do you rate both games, in terms of the standard of play during the two derbies, playing against Kaizer Chiefs and playing against Moroka Swallows? All those games are regarded as Soweto derbies, but the other one is regarded as the original Soweto derby, and the other one is regarded as the Soweto derby. So how do you rate the standard of playing in both games? And secondly, Coach Steve Compella, in a post-match interview, he lamented something like the standard, the type of football that Orlando Pirates, Moroka Swallows, and Mamelodi Sundowns are playing. That is the type of starting to build the ball from the back and even considered less goals. Do you echo his sentiments that teams in South Africa, they don't want to improve their standard of play? I mean, judging from what he said in the post-match interview. Thank you.
That was long. I hope you remember the question.
We're trying to focus in the next game. We're doing our best here to talk about TS Galaxy, but it seems quite difficult. About the derbies, I mean, right now, the Chiefs Pirates, it's something else, obviously. It goes without saying. It's like it gets a different level and repercussion, even for you guys. I don't think we used to have a media day before Chiefs, but not before Swallows. So you tell me why. I don't know. It's you understand? Swallows is a special game for me, I can tell you, because it was my first official match with Orlando Pirates was in Orlando against Moroka Swallows, 1-0, Ebanga, and will be always, in my memory for sure. I think both games are special. We're talking about teams in different moments, in different circumstances, in terms of many things, budgets, expectations, fan base, a lot of things. But for me, I try to, like I said many times, I try to not being so emotional about the way I approach the games. I try to be more pragmatic than anybody else in order to do my job as good as possible, and derbies are not exceptional. And the second question, I don't know exactly what is the question. I mean, I don't used to make comments about other colleges' comments. I think Coach Compella it's been around enough, and he knows South African football much better than myself. So I will always respect his opinion about South African football, and there's not much that I can add to his opinion about South African football. That's all.
Final question?
Yes. I think Coach Villain from SABC. I just want to.
Can you swap the microphones?
Yes. Coach, maybe I just wanted to follow up on Daniel's question, but on a different. I was just looking back at the last season, especially the second round. You had a remarkable run in that space. I think from a possible 45 points, you got 33. And there was just what? I think there was 11 wins in that period. And this was also the period that also linked with the featuring more of Terence in that period. What are some of the positives that you take from that run as you edge closer to the second round and finishing this, and you're going on a long break, and in previous breaks that we've seen you there's a break where you came up with Saleng last season, you came up with Terence, and we've been seeing some of the players who are coming back even now. You had Sesane on the bench. So as we look forward to the long break next month, what are some of the positives that you would like to take from that second round and maybe implement now?
I'm trying. To be honest, again, we want to beat Galaxy on Saturday. That's our obsession to collect as much points as possible. Right now, we're sitting. I hope I'm not wrong, but I think we're sitting with the same points that we collect last season in 15 games before we went to the break, to the halfway of the league. We have the opportunity to improve that number right now with the upcoming games before we go to this famous break. And that's our intention. Game by game, we have the opportunity to collect 3 points. 3 points is a lot. And we know, because we do know, trust me, how difficult it is for us to collect each point in this league. And for different reasons. And all of our energy is there. And after that is going to be the next one. We're traveling to Durban again to meet Arrows soon. And then Super Sport, Stellenbosch. We have a really exciting month ahead of us. And we don't see farther than the next game, because the moment that you do it, then your energy can be somewhere else, and we don't want to be there. You are asking me every time about the consistency of the team, but then you asking me about January, February, March 2026 and 2019, and we miss the focus. We want to be focusing in what's coming, because there's nothing else than the next game in football.
On that note, we've come to the conclusion of our press conference. We'll be joined shortly by our players for one-on-ones, and I'll ask that everyone who's got a camera to please just gather here, and everyone else will bring the players to you on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.